What's up, everybody out there on YouTube? I'm Layman, and this isn't a reaction, it's more of a vlog, you could say, for reasons that I don't really want to get into. But I'm still talking about RWBY, so that's a thing. We can still all enjoy this together, it's just different than what I originally imagined. Regardless, Volume 5 is now out, the first episode at the very least. Of course, first members get this stuff a week early, so by the time you watch this, I'll have already seen Volume 2, and we'll be working on that video. But, Volume 2. Episode 2. Excuse me. But Volume 5, Episode 1 is not the best way the series has ever started one of its seasons. That will still be Episode 1 of Volume 2, but it was still pretty good, and there's a lot to unpack, so let's start with a synopsis, shall we? It opens with... Actually, if you've seen the ending stinger for Volume 4, it opens a little bit before that technically happens. I'll explain more about that later. With Crow and Team Ranger arriving in Haven City, I guess. And marveling at it, of course, gotta establish that world. And yeah, that goes on for like a minute or so, just to get that out of the way. Quick cut to some kind of transport bullhead flying over the country. This is our introduction to Weiss for this volume. And hers is his kind of simple, like the pilot receives a distress call, doesn't go to help because he's a transport ship. What's he gonna do? Which is obviously setting up, like, I guess, stuff for Weiss later on in the season, so we'll see how she deals with that. But from what I could tell, she was not comfortable with not helping those people that were in distress. Back over to Mistral, Team Ranger, Crow, arrive at Haven Academy. They don't exactly find anybody there, really. And this is odd. No duh. But they basically make their way inside, which leads into one of my favorite scenes from this particular episode, and currently my favorite scene of Volume 5 thus far.
Get ready. It could be trouble.
That's just funny to me. I don't even care if y'all don't like it or thought it was funny. I do. So we're gonna leave it at that. But basically, they meet and subsequently give a heart attack to Professor Lionheart of Haven Academy. Cut back over to Menagerie, where we see that Blake, her family, and son have not been having a lot of luck doing, you know, their peace-mongering, or whatever it is you want to call it. Blake's plan to take back the White Fang. I don't know exactly what that plan is, but I'm sure we'll see. Of course, Callie's still her adorable self. We need more of her Rooster Teeth. Get on it. And Blake decides to step out onto a balcony for a little bit of air and a moment to herself, where she meets Ilya, the chameleon girl and former friend of hers from the White Fang, who basically gives her some dire warning of doomy portents. I don't know. So that happens. That's left for us to wonder about further down the line. And after that, we cut back to Lionheart's office, where the gang basically, you know, tries to get him to help them on their quest. In this case, locating and, I guess, reclaiming she who is the Spring Maiden, which we're gonna get to see another maiden in the season, potentially. I might have a theory about that. I'll explain that later. But unfortunately, Lionheart is a little bit of, well, he's hesitant. Let's just put it up bluntly. Coming up with actually really good reasons why they can't just rush off, or why he can't spare resources. So yeah, that whole runaround goes on, and ultimately that ultimately that Crow and Ranger leave because, you know, there's only so much they can do having just gotten here and not even talk to anybody else, really. And as soon as they leave Lionheart's office, he gets a call from the doctor-looking guy from Salem's Cabal. I can remember his name, dang it. It's right here. But yeah, that's basically the tail end of that scene, which intrigue. After that, we cut to Yang's scene, which if it weren't for the heart attack scene from earlier, this whole thing would have been my favorite scene from this episode so far. Her basically stopping at a gas station of sorts, you know, getting a top up, getting something to drink, water for the record. And she basically punches out a ruffian who is the scuzziest looking character I have ever seen in RWBY. Like, at all. Like this guy looks like he stepped right out of the 1980s. Like some movie around there. Yeah, if I can find a picture of him, I will just insert a screenshot of that here. But before that, yeah, she punches him out, blah blah blah. Does her looking for my mom thing with the proprietor of the gas station or bartender, I don't know. Doesn't get anywhere, leaves. Scuzzy dude who she punched out and he did a pinball thing at the front door, which made that my second favorite scene. Tells her that he might have a lead that she'd be interested in. This is, of course, after trying to hit on her, so we all know she's gonna follow it, of course. Like, it's heavily hinted at in the stuff that she's going to confront her mom about this. Yeah, afterwards, we're back to Team Ranger, settled in to whatever temporary abode they're staying at, and there's a knock at the door. Who, of course, they have every right to be suspicious because pretty much nobody of importance knows that they're here. Okay, one person, you know what I mean. So yeah, they open the door, and who's standing there but Farm Boy Oscar from Volume 4? You know, that kid who we thought, what the heck is his deal all of a sudden? And he's asking for Ruby Rose. Why, you ask? Because her drunk uncle. And basically, no, I'll say that in a second. So Crow stumbles in, collapses on the couch, drunk. I finally found him, and spouting stuff like that. Ruby stomps into the room, quite miffed that they're interrupting her reading time. Those X-Ray and Vab comics need to be read. There's a lot of issues she needs to catch up on, folks. And it's revealed to ostensibly the main characters that Oscar Pine is actually Professor Ozpin. Crow falls onto the floor. And that is about where the episode ended. So, clearly there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on, either in this volume or just further on in the story. Now, what I was talking about earlier, ignore that, was like some things that are actually revealed in the Volume 5 intro that are worthy of note. So, yeah, as you can see, we've got the establishing shot of, like, Haven Academy. There's, like, introducing all the girls again, because we all want to see them. This is where it's at, people. And yeah, Yang riding Bumblebee, the only Bumblebee that actually exists in RWBY. See what I did there. And yeah, then there's basically establishing them doing that and meeting Oscar, so that's fun. I see the symbolism there. Dr. Watts, that's what his name was. Thank you. That's what the W stood for. I remember now. Basically, yeah, this is establishing all that. And apparently Adam's gonna play something of an actual part in this season, potentially. And he's actually got a redesign on his outfit. Looks interesting. Ish. What else? That. Oh yeah. Okay. Here's what I was hinting at before. Like in this shot, we clearly see like Cinderfall, Volume 4, Cinderfall, and this woman right here, who I'll bet you dollars to donuts, she is most likely the Spring Maiden, and that's gonna be interesting to see what she's like, and also there's, you know, Yang and her mom. There's gonna be a confrontation from that, I absolutely assure you. More of the Menagerie White Fang chapter. Lots of shots of everybody fighting, including this interesting scene where Yang's fighting against Mercury again. I wonder if that's actually gonna happen, because dang it! Just give her the rematch. Let her kick that little pissant's butt. He freaking deserves it. And yeah, the basically ending with like Team RWBY charging at Salem, potentially metaphorically growing large, and crediting where credit is due. Rest in peace, Monty. I'll work on that tribute video someday. And there's a lot of interesting stuff that's going to happen in this volume. And a lot of interesting stuff that was introduced in this episode too. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next episode and what it entails. And I wonder what kind of World of Remnants bits we're going to get in this as well. I hope there's one about Raven Bronwyn and her gang, because, you know, we just need to learn about them. They're clearly going to be players in this, so we need to learn about them. And there has to be more Neo, because Neo is the best character in all of RWBY, and I will fight anybody who says otherwise. You think I'm joking? I will fight you. Anyway, that's basically Volume 5, Episode 1 in a nutshell. My thoughts on what might be important going forward. And hopefully Episode 2 will have more things in store for us. I will see you guys next time for that. There's a day when the car